Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Friday, January 17th, 10:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2025. The 6 to 10-day temperature outlook is looking bleak for the east and the southeast, and we have major winter storms lining up that will dump major snow in those regions. Holy macaroni. Keep calm. It's boom time. Now, we have fires burning in LA, but it couldn't get worse than this. Evacuations have been lifted for more than 1,000 after a fire erupts in a California battery storage plant. Around 1,500 people were instructed to leave the Moss Landing and the Elkhorn Slough areas. Yeah, it's bad news, guys. Evacuations were lifted Friday night for people near the ongoing fire that erupted Thursday at one of the world's largest battery storage plants in northern half of California. Video circulating on social media showed smoke and flames erupting from the Moss Landing power plant on Thursday night in the Monterey County community of Moss Landing, 25 miles south of Santa Cruz. We're talking toxic plumes of gases and other terrible things. This is just bad news. Yeah, the Monterey County Sheriff's Office said Friday evening that evacuation orders for as many as 1,500 people were lifted, but residents were told to stay indoors in case the fire pollutes the air with toxic gases. And toxic gases, indeed, we're talking about a lithium battery power plant. Our first unit on scene arrived and found that there was smoke out of the building, and we did find at least one battery on fire. That's bad news. These are lithium batteries, and, well, the smoke is toxic. Let's take a look at some of the coverage here. This is the fire burning here at the power plant. And, well, it's not insignificant, to say the least. It's actually quite spectacular. And can you imagine the toxic gases coming off from this fire, to say the least? And that is not the only fire in California. We still have 3 fires in LA County. The good news is that they all have more containment, and they are all, well, they're all being put out. The Palisades fire, currently the largest fire in LA County at 23,713 acres burned, staying at that size for the last 4 days. 39% containment there. Better news at the Eaton fire, we have 65% containment, and we've reached the threshold. That means this fire will be put out shortly. Still the same size 4 days ago, 14,117 acres. The auto fire is out, 100% containment and just 61 acres burned. Good job out there in LA. Now, severe cold forces the Trump inauguration indoors for the first time in 40 years. Have you heard the news? There have only been 3 presidential inauguration days on record indoors. The first was 1909, which was being held outside, but a blizzard prevented that, and that was the inauguration of William Taft. The next was Ronald Reagan's second inauguration in 1985. It was moved indoors because the temperature was just 7 degrees. And now we have Donald Trump's inauguration, the third to be moved indoors due to cold weather. Buckle up, Buttercup. A map of mid-January temperature outlook is showing it's frigid, and a polar vortex map is showing where the Arctic blast is set to freeze the U.S. as far as the deep south and the east. You can see here the 6 to 10-day temperature outlook. Below temperature from New York all the way to Dallas and approaching Florida. It's going to be chilly out there. Could be an iguana apocalypse. Winter storm watch for parts of Pennsylvania for Sunday through Monday. Up to 10 inches of snow expected in the interstate of PA. Here is the map. From Allentown all the way up into Maine, it's insane. 8 to 12 inches of snow for many of the regions inland. We're going to see a good swath of 3 to 6 inches for the major cities, including Philly, all over New Jersey, and including, Manhattan. So buckle up, Buttercup. Winter is just getting started. Sunday snow is also on the way for the D.C. region and may disrupt travel ahead of Monday's inauguration. And let's take a look at the forecast. Arctic air spreads south and east from the Rockies Friday through next week. We've got major freeze warnings. This is danger to human life if you go outside up in the dark blue. Arctic air is plunging across the Rockies and Great Plains and will reach the deep south and the Great Lakes Saturday night and the eastern seaboard by Sunday night, bringing dangerously cold wind chill temperatures. Snow and heavy winds could produce blizzard conditions in the northern plains Friday. There is a wintry mix expected in the Midwest and the Northeast, and rain for the Southeast into Saturday. But we've got a big storm, gathering steam for Tuesday, and that will be Lose Day. Let's take a quick look at the forecast. This is MLS Preset Plus Frozen. You can see here Saturday through Sunday, storms developing in the south. Could see some severe weather moving through there on Saturday as that storm on Sunday moves to the east. But at the same time that storm leaves, a secondary system will develop and explode Sunday into Monday, bringing heavy snow to the northeast, and it's looking pretty spectacular. This snow is going to deliver all the way up through the corridor, into the eastern Maritimes. Right behind that, a storm developing here Tuesday morning is going to develop in Texas, the nexus of the Schmexus, move through Louisiana and all of the southern states on Tuesday through Wednesday and off the coast by Thursday morning. It's going to bring heavy totals. Let's take a look at what the models are now saying. Total snowfall for the events. Now, the first storm moving through is happening now. It's going to develop tonight, and by morning in Saturday through Sunday, be bringing some snow to the northeast as well as the Rockies. But the big winter chicken dinner is Saturday through Sunday for the northeast as that system moves offshore here through Monday. Take a look at those totals. Could be picking up 3 to 6 inches in Philly. Most of, looks like Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont will be picking up heavy snow. Southern Maine as well. And New Brunswick and eastern Maine on the list. The second storm developing Tuesday morning in Texas, the nexus of the Schmexus, will bring heavy snow to the south. Record-breaking snow totals from North Carolina to South Carolina through Georgia and all of the southern states through Texas, the nexus of the Schmexus. We could be picking up a foot or more north, of Baton Rouge in Louisiana. This will be a record-breaking storm for many. But the models are still parsing up, and we'll know more in the morning. So check us out tomorrow on Magnetic Reversal News and Oppenheimer Ranch Project. And the chill is not only designated to the southeast U.S. and most of the U.S. east of the Rockies, but Thailand is also in an unusual chill. And the drought of 77 in California was blamed on cooling. Who are they fooling? Nobody. Thailand is enduring an unusual cold with high pressure systems from China sending temperatures tanking. This rare phenomenon, similar to the polar vortex, has disrupted typical weather patterns and has left much of Southeast Asia shivering. Sakon Nakhon logged a low of 6.6 C, 43.9 Fahrenheit, one of the coldest temperatures in years, as well as many other regions, including Bangkok's Bang Na district. Thermometers read just 59.4 Fahrenheit, far below 73.4, which is the normal temperature. The Thai Meteorological Department expects the cold to linger into mid-February, where Thais will be shivering. I love that Thai food. Now, the drought of 77 in California was blamed on cooling. Yeah. The drought of 77, which affected much of the U.S., particularly the western states like California and Montana, was one of the most significant droughts of the 20th century, impacting agriculture, water supplies, and the ecosystem. It was blamed on global cooling and expanding ice polar caps at the time. Here's the article. The only problem with that is now the same group of fearmongers are blaming global warming. Yeah. It's getting too hot and too dry, not too wet and too cold. Holy macaroni. These people are full of the gobbledygook. And guess what happened after the drought of 1977? The fire of 1978 in the same region of the Palisades. It wiped out the same area, the same amount of homes in the same amount of time. I don't have any more time to explain it. Seismic update. The Vatnajökull Glacier, just north of Bartabunga, continuing with the seismic outbreak here. This is how the dike transmitted in the last eruption in 2014, and the fissure eruption occurred somewhere in the region I'm circling. So it is looking like Bartabunga is setting up for the next eruption in Iceland. The rest of the seismic update looks pretty bleak. We've got activity in Hawaii. That's because of the ongoing eruption in Kilauea. The Ring of Fire, pretty normal. Normal activity worldwide. And the East African Rift is quieting down with the maximum activity at just 4.5. Worldwide volcano news for Friday, 17th of January. Ibu, 10,000 feet. Reventador, volcanic ash puffing and passing. Sangay, 22,000 feet. Liwatobi to 9,000. Santiaguito to 14,000 feet. Erta Ale, here you can see satellite imagery coming from Sentinel-2. The lava flows stopped traveling beyond the caldera rim, which means it's safer to go look at it. Semeru, who knew? Now you do 15,000 foot blast today. Fuego to 15. Swanasima, 6,000 foot puff there. Ibu to 7,000. Santiaguito to 15. Ibu to 7,000. Semeru, 15,000 foot puff. Sakurajima, 7,000 foot blast there. Fuego to 16. Popo to 20,000. Canleon, 9,000 foot puff today. Nevado de Ruiz to 20,000 feet. Swanasima, 6,000 foot puff there. Semeru, 15,000 foot blast. Reventador is the last with new volcanic ash emissions. Space weather is, well, accelerated over the last 24 hours. You can see multiple M flares puffing and passing as we have new sunspots that are active in the region. The coronal hole is passing, should couple in the next day or so, which means we are in seismic alert. KP is down below 3, and multiple M flares today coming from multiple active regions. Take a look at the M7.46. This is coming from active region 3964, and it's bringing the sun back to life. The region is likely to now be a threat for a strong X flare, but as the hours progress, it's going to be tracing away from Earth effectivity. But there is more space weather to report on. A parade of planets this month will feature celestial bodies in alignment. These are the planets that will be visible to the naked eye. A rare parade of planets will light up the night sky through January. 6 planets will be in alignment for the rest of the month, 4 of which will be visible to the naked eye. And that doesn't mean you have to be naked. That means you just have to be looking up. Now, who are the planets in question? Well, Venus and Saturn will be in conjunction, meaning they will appear closest to each other on Friday and Saturday. Both will be visible with the unaided eye in the first couple of the hours after dark while looking west, according to space.com. While looking south, a brilliant Jupiter will be shining brightly, as well as Mars. And we just saw the Mars conjunction with the moon, which was quite a boom. Now, Mars' rare disappearing solar wind event has been explained. and it's insane. Now, Mars' atmosphere and climate are impacted by interactions with the solar wind, a stream of plasma comprised of protons and electrons that flow from the sun's outermost atmosphere, traveling at speeds of 400 to 1,100 kilometers per second. They smash Earth just like Mars as well. However, sometimes this solar wind can disappear on Mars. In rare events, when there is a gap in the solar wind path and the sun increases its solar activity. This occurs when a faster portion of the solar wind overtakes the slower one in a co-rotating interaction region and incorporates it, leaving a lower density void in the solar wind path. This phenomenon was observed over 3 days in December of 2022 during NASA's MAVEN mission. As a result of the lack of solar wind, the pressure decreased, caused Mars's atmosphere and magnetosphere to expand by thousands of kilometers, tripling in size. It also sent a supersonic shockwave around the planet known as a bow shock. Holy macaroni. And this is the cause for the disappearing solar wind. Yeah. Mars had a magnetosphere for a fleeting moment. I'm sure you've all heard SpaceX launched accidentally, likely caused by fire that sent trails of flaming debris near the Caribbean. So the main stage rocket of the giant SpaceX launch, what is it called? The 400-foot Starship, the world's biggest and most powerful rocket, exploded once again. This is all, by the way, a learning process for SpaceX itself. And this is not the first time one of these rockets exploded. In fact, most of them are designed to blow up after they've achieved their goal. The only problem with this one is that it had people freaked out here. Especially, I think this was in Turks and Caicos, but some of this debris did hit the Earth. And regulators are now investigating reports of property damage from the SpaceX Starship explosion. With this amount of debris and pieces as large as the ones that are glowing here, well, yeah, it's not re-entering from space. It's exploding in our own stratosphere and re-entering. So not a lot of burn up there. Good luck, Elon. Nothing is as we thought. James Webb Space Telescope confirms we are wrong about how we saw the universe. In fact, we're wrong about everything. We are wrong about the age of the universe. We're wrong about the Big Bang. We may be wrong about black holes, dark energy, and dark matter. We may be wrong about the expansion. Well, we're wrong about everything. How come cosmologists can't get the memo? You're all fucking wrong. Period. Now, melting ice reveals a millennia-old forest buried in the Rocky Mountains. We reported on this days ago, but Lee and I are going to break it all down tomorrow on the radio show, Revolution Radio, Studio B, noon Mountain Time. This is not the only forest that has been unearthed in recent memory. A 1,000-year-old forest buried under Alaska's Mendenhall Glacier, also showing the medieval warm period that this one is as well, which is making NASA and NOAA look like the charlatans they are. And if you don't know about Pat King, he's about to be sentenced. This is the man responsible for the trucker protest in Canada, which made its way all the way down here into the U.S. through Arizona. I went there, experienced it live. I have video footage up. But Pat King is about to get sentenced to what could be a 10-year sentence in prison for simply exercising his constitutional rights to say, "F you" to the government. Pat, please move to the U.S., or hopefully we'll gain Canada in the coming days. A good friend of mine in Pagosa Springs who moved here, maybe not because of me, but probably because of me, his home just burnt down. Now, we've heard of all the fires in Western California, but this is a freak accident. Some wiring issues in a home he bought over in Aspen Springs caused the entire house to light up. The good news is that my friend Jason Carr was able to get out all of his animals before the entire home was destroyed. This is his roommate holding up some of the small things that they were able to find from the burn. But if you want to help out a good friend in Pagosa who has nothing, and it is now getting down to -5 degrees every night, and they are homeless, well, the link will be below, and it would be appreciated. And that's a boom to knowledge. Our hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to Jason Carr and our friends that lost their homestead. They've been working on it for years. We've hosted them here at least a few times. And we pray for Jason Carr and his family. Hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow. And please help our friend recover from, well, losing everything. And that is a boom. We love each and every one of you. Be safe. Anything can happen at any time. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.